Hey guys, I'm Chris from the Chris Lawler team, and today we're going to sit down here with Bashir, who works at Caliber Home Loans, talk a little bit about finance and mortgage after COVID and after the market opens up. So Bashir, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for having me on.
Of course.
I work at Caliber Home Loans here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And one of the things that Chris and I wanted to discuss today was a little bit about some of the changes that have been happening with the pandemic. Obviously, the mortgage industry wasn't immune to what occurred. And in fact, may have taken one of the biggest beatings during this time. So with that said, an estimated 33 million people, I believe, are filing for unemployment or are already on. Estimated 3 million people are on forbearance, mortgage forbearance, unable to make a mortgage payment at this time. So Caliber has been, being a servicer, has been one of the lenders that has been trying to help people with that process. In addition to that, they've obviously had to mitigate some risk in the process with the continued layoffs and the unemployment growing almost on a daily basis. So a lot of lenders took measures to mitigate that risk by increasing some of their credit requirements, changing some of their guidelines, and even eliminating some of the loan products that were available prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, and I definitely want to touch on that moving forward, but I'm going to start it up with probably the question that we both get right away from buyers, and that's, what are interest rates looking like, in today's market?
Interest rates are still low. They're great right now. If you're in a position to buy, don't let the pandemic scare you, because rates are really at some of the lowest levels that I've seen them. If you're in the position to refinance and you think you can benefit from some savings as well, I would definitely talk to a lender and see how that would benefit you. The industry experts expect the rates to remain fairly low throughout at least the rest of the year.
So for people who are a little bit nervous to get back out there, can they refinance or get qualified for a mortgage without meeting anyone in person?
Yeah, they can. We've been doing that a lot even prior to the pandemic, but it's even been more so prevalent now. A lot of times we're talking to the clients over the phone, and in some cases doing Zoom meetings similar to what we're doing now,
Okay.
and discussing their goals, what they're looking to do in the future, and set them up, put them in a position to be able to purchase when the time comes.
Okay, very good. So you started to touch on this a little bit, in your opening, but people are getting misinformation right now. I've seen people saying that your credit score needs to be above 700 to qualify. I just want to go directly to the source and find out what changes have been made as far as qualifying for a mortgage, both FHA, conventional, and then maybe even non-conforming.
Yeah, that's a great question, Chris, because there are quite a few lenders who have different requirements in place. I know that the general consensus in our industry is that they've really shied away from credit scores that are under 620, and in some cases under 660, especially in the FHA loan product. The jumbo financing is no longer available, or was taken off our ability to originate for now a couple of weeks, but we anticipate that coming back at some point. The PHFA loan, which was very popular with first-time homebuyers in the state of Pennsylvania, isn't available either for some lenders to be able to utilize.
Okay.
So that did result in some buyers that may have been able to purchase a home in the past now having to wait. Not necessarily, doesn't necessarily disqualify them, but they would just have to wait until things return to normal and potentially these overlays that were implemented are gone.
Okay. And just to clarify, because obviously some of these people watching don't speak in the same language that we speak. So PHFA was usually first-time homebuyers or something like that. They took out a 10-year loan to help pay as a down payment. How does that all work?
Yeah, there's a few different loan products with PHFA, but it was really geared towards assisting or supplementing the down payment for a first-time homebuyer who would qualify for it. There were also loans where you would have access to lower rates, lower than market rates in some products as well. Um, and one of the biggest changes in the industry that we've seen has been appraisals.
Yes.
Appraisals now used to, in most cases, we used to require an interior and exterior inspection, and they've been now allowing Fannie, Freddie, or conventional FHA and VA appraisers to do desktop appraisals and drive-by appraisals without the need to enter the home for obvious reasons there.
Have you seen, the change in the appraisals affecting values?
I have not seen that yet. We haven't had any issues where a value has come in a lot lower than we anticipated due to it being a desktop appraisal or a drive-by. Now, we do encourage sellers who have done extensive renovations and maybe don't have all of the pictures they needed to on the MLS listing or online to send them to the lender to be able to get into the hands of the appraiser so that they're aware of some of the upgrades that were done to the home that can impact the value.
Of course. Okay. So the U.S. government put out a large stimulus bill a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people received their stimulus check by now. Are they able to use that money towards a down payment once the real estate market opens back up?
That's a really good question. I haven't heard anything restricting anyone from using the money towards a down payment.
Okay.
So that's a great question. I'm sure that it's a possibility. I'd have to check to see if lenders have anything against it, but I wouldn't think so.
Okay. So as of right now, yes. And if that changes, then Bashir and I will get in contact and we'll put that at the bottom of this video just to correct ourselves.
Definitely.
So some people are worried about the real estate market post-COVID. Are you seeing buyers still coming out to not only yourself, but other lenders that you work with and getting pre-qualified?
Yeah, there are still a lot of people shopping for homes. New people entering the market who are obviously still employed or maybe expect to return to their jobs very soon. And then those who were shopping prior to COVID who are still in the market looking to buy. I sense that because of the strong demand and the limited supply, I don't really see home values declining rapidly like they may have in 2008. And I've been reading some articles that have said the same. So the demand is still strong. We're still seeing buyers calling for pre-approvals and shopping online and doing the virtual tours. So we hope that as things get better, that momentum will continue into the fall and the winter.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the prices are definitely going to stay stable, at least for the near future, because the inventory was low. It's going to be even lower. And as you said, my team and I are still getting calls from buyers that are out there looking. So I think that's positive news for the market moving forward.
Agreed.
And then just to wrap this up, I don't want to keep you here too long. I know you're busy. So are there any other changes in the mortgage market that people need to be aware of? Anything you see coming down the pipe that could affect people?
So really the only thing that I would highly recommend is, if you're in a position where you may have lost your job and you're struggling to to pay your bills and stuff and things like that. We understand that there are millions of Americans in your same position. So if you look towards the future and you're interested in buying a home and you don't think that you may qualify because you may have put yourself in a position where your credit took a hit because you stopped paying your credit cards or you missed an auto payment, some of the things that the creditors have implemented now are helping consumers avoid negative credit reporting on their credit report at the moment. So even though you may have missed that credit card payment or that auto loan, there is a very good chance that that might not have a negative consequence on your credit. So before you make that assumption, talk to a lender and about it and see where you stand. You very well could be in a position to buy if that's something you were looking to do prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, that's great. That's definitely helpful for people that are dealing with some tough times right now being out of work. So
Right.
to wrap it all up, I would say, kind of touching on what you just said, if you are thinking about, getting in the market and you want to just see what you can qualify for or how much money you need as a down payment or how much you can afford as a house, you definitely should reach out to Bashir. Also, if you're thinking about refinancing, the rates today are very low. Bashir can help you with that. And then once you're able to talk to Bashir, you definitely reach out to myself or someone on my team and we'll set you up on a search. So as soon as the market is open, we're ready to get out there and you can be competitive in this, very competitive market. So I want to thank you, Bashir. I really appreciate you helping the buyers out there understand what we're going into.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Chris. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.